Hello everybody, this is Ben Styles bringing you the second round of the Southeastern Amateur Championships. Today we're playing at the Bill Fredrick Park on the Woods course. We're playing with myself, Adam, Gary, and Jordan. We're starting off on hole one. Hole one is a tricky little hole. There's two ways to play this hole: an aggressive backhand hyzer trying to skip up the gap. It's a low ceiling, tight tunnel all the way down there. So this is about the only way you can get a shot to the green, and he put a good line on it. There's just a couple trees in the middle of the fairway that just kind of knocked his disc down. I'm trying to take the safe route here and just playing a putter up to the corner so I can have a nice putter approach to the basket and not get too aggressive and still just got knocked down, just let it leak a little high. Jordan's trying to do the same play I was, just trying to play it straight down there where he can get a good look at the basket. He should be in good position. And then Adam's also, I'm not sure if he's playing this aggressive. Let's see what he's doing here. Yeah, it definitely looks like he was taking a driver trying to get that skip there and just didn't quite make the corner. So he's trying to play that skip line again. Looks like he got a little skip on it. He's around that corner, so he should be able to look at it from there. I still haven't made the corner, so I'm trying to get up around the corner. Looks like I'm going to go roller, trying to get a little bit of extra distance. Looks like I tried to bite off a little bit too much there, so I still haven't made that corner. So I've got this tight turn of a low ceiling trying to go in there, so I'm trying to flex a forehand around in there and just get caught up in that low ceiling down there towards the basket. Gary's left himself in pretty good position, even though he did get caught up there, so he's got a nice simple approach and caught a little bit, but that's still going to put him on the green. Jordan here, you can see he just straightened it out long, which is ideally the play if you're not trying to go for the basket. And you can see it gave him a nice open look to the basket. And this is where Adam ended up off of his tree kick. So he's tight left side, just short of the gap, but he had a window that he could look down and absolutely just pin that up shot. Great shot. And Gary trying to clean up his long look for his three after a not so good upshot and just caught some of the low ceiling that's hanging down all over this course. And then I'm stuck with a straddle from the right side and just leave it a little high. Carey coming back again. Oh man, just rimmed out. So he'll be taking a bogey on that hole after an ideal drive. I'm cleaning up a bogey, or I'm sorry, he'll be taking a double bogey. I'll be taking a double bogey. And then Jordan coming back, trying to save his par. Ends up taking a bogey. So just cleaning these out, getting off this hole, move on to the next. Hole two plays as a tunnel shot, or not really a tunnel, but it's got a tight gap going out into an open field. The basket's sitting pretty far left. As you're looking at it out the tunnel, it doesn't look like it's that far left if you walk up. But when you're throwing the shot, you have to put it on a lot of hyzer, a lot more than that. So he's played the straight shot, a little straighter than you want it to be, but he's got a nice look in that gap. And then Adam's going to try to be a little more aggressive with his hyzer, puts it out there, but he's still left it a little left, and he looks like he caught some of those tree branches on the right. And Gary's going to throw this right. He's going to show you how tight you really have to throw this. So you can see he puts it on a lot of hyzer, puts it high. He just barely gets around those trees to the left and absolutely parks this hole. Great shot. So I'm going to take my Thunderbird, put it out there on a hyzer, try to get it up around the corner, not be too aggressive, because if you end up short or long on this hole, the rough on this course is just absolutely brutal. Adams left himself short of the cut, so he's trying to take something and push it over the edge, over the bushes there, but he gets caught in a little bit of that headwind that's coming in, and it just pushes him right back into that clump of bushes short of the basket. Jordan's got this nice, simple little forehand approach to the basket just to get him back inside the circle. And then this is where my drive left me. So it put me outside the circle about 40, and just a little low. And this is Adam coming out of the woods, getting himself up and down so he can try to get out of here with his bogey. And this is where Gary's drive ended up, absolutely parked. That's a great birdie. And then we'll be cleaning up our pars here, and then Adam will be tapping in his bogey on the hole. Moving on to hole three. it says it's 189 feet. This course has a lot of holes that I had a tough time with. This is one of those holes where you're just kind of throwing it down there and see what you can get away with. So Gary's played this course a lot, so he knows pretty much what he wants to do on all these holes, and just trying to throw that forehand down there and see if you can get down towards the basket. So I'm throwing something low, trying to get a skip. Got a little skip there, and that should put me up on the green there. I was thinking about a different hole earlier, but yeah, this one's just off to the right, and Adam just left that a little left. He didn't get the turn on that he wanted. So you can see the basket's tucked up in there. There is a fairway on this one, but it does low ceiling, and the rough on either side is just absolutely brutal. You can see Jordan here is not far off the fairway, around the corner, and his only shot is a roller out. From where he was, there was no ceiling for him to do anything else. And here you can see Gary's just short of the corner and throwing an approach shot to the basket, and he had so little room he couldn't get anything to even get through there. So that little shot gave him a little bit so he could get around the corner, and gave it a good bit, but wasn't able to convert. And then I put my drive a little long, and so it left me this low ceiling where I had to actually get down on both knees to make my putt. But I managed to get one of my few birdies I took on this course. And Gary tapping out his bogey, and Jordan, after that great little roller out shot he had, tapping in his par. Hole 4 comes in at 204. I can't stress enough that the distances on this course do not translate into how difficult the holes are. You can see this hole is an absolute tunnel all the way to the basket. So I'm taking a forehand and just turning over a putter, trying to put it down there to the left-hand side, and hopefully get myself a putt. But this hole here, if you miss that fairway, like Jordan just did there, you are absolutely going to be punished, because you'll see in a second some of these out shots are just rough. Adam left it a little right. Gary's throwing backhand here. Leaves it a little high, catches some of that high ceiling up there, and just kind of pushes him off into the woods to the left. Adam's coming out, trying to do a forehand flex down that gap. Left it a little too far right, caught that tree, and it pushed him pretty deep in these woods over here. He was in here for a while trying to get creative, trying to find a line. The only thing he could find was a big hyzer forehand to get him, try to get up there, but it didn't quite get through, but it did put him back in the fairway. And then Jordan going with another roller here, barely through this thing, but it's slightly downhill, and it just kept rolling. It looked a lot slower than that person. It just looked like it was never going to stop going. Gary's left with this little simple out shot. He got pretty far down there before he got in the woods. And then Adam, after his little forehand high hyzer, just not quite able to get that one to stick to try to save. I think that was for his bogey. Jordan missing that comebacker after that roller went a little too far. And this is going to be my 2-putt on a really tough hole. So I was very happy to be able to get that birdie and gain a couple of strokes on my card at least. Starting off pretty good, but this course does not get any easier. Hole 5, another 244-foot hole. It plays pretty straight. It's got a little tunnel going slightly uphill. There's trees left, trees right. There is a fair line, a good gap on this hole. I really like this hole. This is one of the better holes on this course, I believe. So Gary's taking the backhand, trying to just flex it up there a little bit. Got a little bit too far turned over, but he's down there looking. Jordan's taking that forehand line like I took. See if he can throw a little bit better than I did. He tried to throw the flex route and just didn't quite get over on it as much as he needed to. Hit those trees, but he's going to be on the right-hand side. Anything over to the right, it's pretty open, so you can have a simple approach. As long as you're not in the woods left, I kind of ended up just barely on the edge. I caught these branches and got knocked down. But as long as you're not deep left, you should have a simple up and down if you can't get up to the basket for your birdie. So even though Adam left it a little short, he's put himself in an opening where he has a chance to run this one. Left a little high, a little short. Jordan, even after hitting those trees, giving that one a little half go. And then Gary, hit those same trees, and he's got a legitimate putt at this one. Just not quite enough commitment on that one. So, cleaning up some pars. That's a 3 for me. Par's not what you're hoping to get on this one, because there's a lot of holes out here where they're short, but par can be a next to impossible score to get on some of these out here. Hole 6, this is actually the hole we started off on this round. I'm sorry. Hole 6 is slightly uphill. You've got a gap off the tee pad, and then it opens up to a little opening, and then there's another gap right before the basket up there. It plays slightly uphill. You can't really tell in the video, but a really good shot. I'm trying to play the skip shot, but Gary shows you that backhand turnover line. He catches some of that stuff over there on the left-hand side, but it looked like it punched through, so he should be able to get a putt. And Jordan just left this one a little right, and that stuff over there is rough. Adam's hoping to get this one to punch through. It's in there, but again, that side it's not where you want to be. You can see him stuck back in there in those bushes. Jordan's coming off of a knee, trying to just get something up there towards the basket. My drive left me short left, so I didn't quite make that corner. I didn't get the skip I wanted on the sand. So I'm just trying to float one up there and give it a half go. Got it nice and close to the basket, so I should be able to clean up my par there. Adam coming out of the woods. And then Gary actually got his drive up here. He punched all the way through, so he's got a relatively simple putt. And this is actually where we ended our round, I'm sorry. So that was ending his round with a nice little birdie putt, so that always feels good to finish on a high note. And Jordan just continuing with struggling these last couple holes and taking that bogey there. That rough on the right side just really didn't give him the clean look he wanted at the basket. So we're going to be moving on to hole 7, 324. This is a really nice hole. I like this one. It's for me, I threw a mid-range turnover with a comment. I really like the line. You just get it a little high and left and just let it fall down towards the basket. I throw the line I wanted to, but I didn't get it to quite turn enough and just caught those branches, and it dropped me down. I'm probably about 70 out. And Adam here going pretty much with the same line, but he's throwing a little more aggressive, throwing the driver, and it just kind of stalled out on him. And it's going to leave him left, but he's safe in bounds over there. There is a road or a fence over there that plays short of the road as OB. And Gary trying to correct on Adam's line and just turns it over a little bit too much. And then Jordan here is throwing us that forehand line. And he catches that grass and gets a little bit of a skip, but this grass on this course, there is no skip to be had. So just playing my little safe putter shot, and then Gary running that one through the woods over a branch and giving it a good look at the basket. Jordan throwing up his birdie attempt, and here you can see how far Adam pushed it to the left-hand side over there. He still got a jump putt, just not quite, but a good bid. Just going to tap in our pars. Nothing like a little star frame early on to get it going. So from here we move on to hole 8. Hole 8 is where this course starts getting a little bit tricky. So it plays very similar to hole 1, I think, except for shorter and not quite as awkward of an angle. I'm trying to take a overstable mid-range and just get it around the corner to where I can have a safe little approach down the gap again, similar to what I did on hole 1. Gary shows a little more aggressive route. He's taking an overstable fairway, wide rim driver, and just getting that skip up around the corner, and that should get him inside a circle where he has a putt. Trying to get the skips on the sand and this grass can be difficult. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Jordan left that one a little left, so he's going to have to do some work to get up and down from where he is. Looks like Adam threw a pretty nice shot, just didn't quite make that second corner. So looks like he threw a forehand turnover roller trying to get up there. We'll have to see where that one ended up. And this is me coming out of the woods, throw another forehand roller, trying to get around the corner, and I should have just laid up to the corner where I had a clean approach, but I guess I'll take what I got. And I don't remember who I want to say that's Jordan coming out of the woods, so he punched pretty deep through there. Then again, I'm stuck just having to give that one a little forehand run and see what happens. This is where Gary's drive ended up, so fantastic drive. Put himself in position to take that birdie. Then Jordan pushed his approach shot a little deep. Just misses that par save. So this will be for my bogey. And Adam will be tapping in for par. And Jordan will be tapping in for his bogey, I believe. Hole 9's coming in at 305 feet. This is one of those tricky little holes. It's a par 3, but reaching this green is very difficult. This is not one you're going to see too very often. Off the tee, it's either a forehand turnover shot like Gary's trying to go with here, or a backhand hyzer, which Adam's actually about to take here. Either one of those is a pretty good shot. None of those are going to get you on the green, but they will get you a 70 or 80 foot look. I'm going here with a forehand turnover shot with a Comet, trying to get a little bit more glide out of that turn. So I did exactly what I was wanting to do, and it put me down the night, probably 45 degree turn down there, somewhere on the left side where I can look at the basket. And Jordan left us a little bit too far right and hit that dead guardian tree there on the right hand side before you get the corner. So he's not made the corner, so he just had to pitch up around where he could have a look down the fairway from there. So his forehand approach left him a little high, and he hit that cabbage, so it's going to push him to the right-hand side. Gary's drive, oh yeah, great approach shot. So he was trying to skip that one in, try to make something happen from there. Adam did exactly what you want to do here, playing that backhand hyzer. It's pushed him to that left-hand side where he has an outside look, probably circle 2, maybe a little bit farther out. I'm a little bit farther up than Adam. I'm just going to take my challenger and float this one up there. And finally make good on one of those forehand putts. So that felt great getting that birdie. And then Jordan cleaning up his par. And then putting behind the basket. We've got Gary coming back at it from his little forehand skip bid at it. And then Adam cleaning up his easy par. Moving on to hole 10, 288 feet. This is a hole that was very weird. So pretty much that straight line right there, I just hit that one branch to the right, but the actual fairway here, I don't see how you could actually throw a disc down this line. So I was trying to talk to the guys and see what their plan is on this hole, and Gary and Adam were telling me pretty much throw something hard at the gap, and then Gary ends up taking this crazy hyzer shot that I didn't see until after he threw it. I wish he'd thrown before me so I could have seen that shot, because what I was trying to do just did not work. So Jordan's taking that backhand, just throwing it down there hard and just seeing what happens, because there's not really a clean line to the basket here. So he's left himself in the rough on the right-hand side, and he's just throwing it up to around the corner. So this is the fairway line runs left across me and then cuts back towards where my roller's going. Ideally, the line where my roller went is where the fairway should be on this hole, but it's just too overgrown to really access from the tee consistently. Jordan throwing another roller down the left side over there, getting back to the basket. And this is where Gary's drive ended up. So even though he threw what looked like a pretty good shot, it still didn't put him on the green. But he feels like that's the most consistent way for him to get at least an outside look at that basket. And Adam actually was able to get his up there pretty close and have a look. I'm trying to clean up my par. Just all weekend I left him a little bit short. Jordan coming back for his bogey. Makes good on that knee putt from the rough over there. I'm cleaning up my bogey. And then Gary's to clean up his par. Makes good on that one. And then Adam's just going to be tapping in his par from a pretty good drive over there. Moving on to hole 11, coming in at 285 feet. I'm going to have to look at this hole because I don't remember it offhand. Yeah, so this one looks like it plays pretty straight. So Adam just turned it a little high and caught it in the ceiling. Gary's just taking something, putting it down there to the right. And then I'm going forehand with my Thunderbird here. Trying to put it more straight than right, but just get caught up in some of that high stuff and put it pretty straight. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And then Jordan's going to try to follow suit and do pretty much what Gary and I did. Just throw it down there and finish to the right somewhere. So this is where Jordan ended up. Nice little approach to the basket. Nothing too complicated. Gary's actually got himself an outside look over here. Oh, just missed that one. Adams put himself to the left side down in that gap and just caught a tree on that long jump putt. And then I've put myself past the fairway into the opening out here, and I'm trying to putt one back in there and just cage out again. And then Adam trying to save his par. Just caged out. Man, good bit. So we're just going to clean up this hole. I believe we got a couple pars and a bogey on this one. So that's going to take us on to hole 12. Hole 12 is coming in at 130 feet. There's fence that you can go OB of, but really just straight. Again, this is another one of those super tight holes. I like this kind of hole. It's really tight. It's low ceiling. The rough is rough. You just got to pick your shot and throw your line. So I've thrown that forehand challenger turnover there, and I made the gap, and I was really happy. I put it a little deeper than I wanted to, but I'm on the green, so I'm ecstatic. And Jordan just throwing another nice roller down there and just puts it right down there by the basket. Adam's throwing a standstill backhand putter turnover and just doesn't quite get his line. So it put him deep left, but he should be able to get up and down from over there. So Jordan's got his little circle's edge putt. Makes good on that birdie. Gary, again, he's probably just inside the circle, about 20 feet. Makes good on that one. Adam, after his short approach shot, cleaning up his par. And this is my comebacker from just long and outside the gap, trying to save my birdie. Finally hit a putt. Hole 13, 295 feet. Probably one of my least favorite holes on the entire course. It looks like a pretty standard fairway going up there. The basket's about 45 degrees off to the right. But once you get to the top of that hill, past those two guardian trees there in the middle, the course turns, and finding a line from that landing zone up there to anywhere near the basket is next to impossible. Even if you get up there, getting to the basket is difficult. So I'm not really sure what to do on this hole, to what you'd have to do to save this two. I don't think it's possible. I think a 3 is about as good as you're going to get most days. But really, when you're walking this hole and you're playing it, 4 doesn't even feel bad, because it's jail. The whole fairway is jail. There's no clear line to the basket. Not one of my favorite holes to play at all. Just trying to throw rollers to try to make the disc as small as possible, to try to get something up near the basket, and you see him just bouncing off trees and trucking up the fairway. So positive progress is all you're hoping for here. My second shot, that roller, has left me tight left. Nice little putter approach. Gave her a little half go. That should get me inside the circle to save my bogey 4, which I'm going to be really happy about after playing this hole. A guy on the cart in front of us threw a hyzer from his second shot, and disc got stuck in the tree about 150 feet up in the air, and Gary found it after what seemed like forever looking for it. So I think we're all tapping in our bogeys on this hole. don't think anybody got a par on this hole. Nobody birdied it for sure. We were all just happy to be done with this one and moving on to the next one. Hole 14's a little bit fairer hole. It plays fairly straight. Basket's off to the right. You have, again, it's a tight tunnel, low ceiling. The rough is brutal. So I'm taking forehand with my jawbreaker zone. Not really trying to get a lot of skip on it, just trying to put it down there and give myself a circle's edge look on this one. Right before you get to the basket and the opening onto the green, there's another line of trees short of that with a mound in front of it. So in order to access it, you have to throw an air shot that just clears that mound and gets lucky around those trees short of the green. Gary throwing a backhand line. He said this is actually one of the most aced holes on the course, which is kind of crazy to me because the line is super difficult. So I feel like ace maybe because you're just throwing up there trying to get lucky and throw it in there. So you can see Jordan hit that wall of trees that's short of the green. Adam's got a little outside the circle look from his drive. Just left it a little bit too far right. And this is where my drive ended me up, just outside the circle, and you can see those big trees come up to the green there. And make good on that birdie putt. So where Jordan's actually standing is the line that your disc has to take to access the green. So you can see how tight that opening is going into that green. So Gary makes good on that two putt. That was an exceptional drive on that hole. That backhand just held that turnover and just pushed right up in there. And moving on to hole 348, or hole 15, 348 feet. This hole feels like it's part of another course completely. After all those tight wooded shots, you step out here and this just wide open. Only thing you have to do is not throw it into the woods to the left or get in this cluster of trees to the right of the pin. So I'm just taking a relatively stable Wraith, throwing on a big hyzer, and just absolutely loving the fact that I get to actually throw a disc for the first time this round. And Gary following the same line, just putting something up there by the basket, throwing that big hyzer line. Adam taking a little bit lower line and throws it nice and straight, trying to play that skip, but this grass and down here on this course, you do not get a skip. Jordan throwing the forehand, a little wind on this hole when we stepped out here, and he just was flirting with that left side over there, but he got it back and got it back up inside the circle. So I believe Adam is going to be just outside the circle, 35 feet, makes good on his birdie putt. Great putt. I'm sitting about 20, get my birdie. Jordan's just inside of me. He's probably about 18. Just left it a little bit short. Tapping that one out for his par. And then Gary actually put his a little long, his little 10-foot comebacker. Hole 16 coming in at 270 feet. Plays relatively straight with a slight right finish. OB does run along that right-hand side where that white line is. You could just see those flags in front of me. So actually, the long grass right in front of me actually plays as OB. So you're throwing it across OB straight from the tee pad. So Gary is throwing pretty much the same line I did. Left it a little too far on too much hyzer. Adam's ripping that backhand with a mid-range out there, and it's flexing, and it just keeps pushing. He's probably put that one about 70 long of this basket. Jordan's going with that forehand and left it a little low. Hits, and just rolls back in bounds. Man, that was close. That OB line is right there behind him. You can see the white line on the ground there behind him. Just got it back in. So he lays up for his easy par save. And if you look long in the basket, you can just see Adam's red shirt and those trees and his hyzer coming out of there. That's a great approach shot from where he was back in there. This is where my drive ended me, just inside the circle, and just left it a little bit low. Gary's coming from about 3 feet closer. He's making good on those all day. Gary's been putting really solid all around. Adam trying to save his par after that rough drive. Great cleanup. And then Jordan just coming down to tap in his par as well. So moving on to hole 17 at 216 feet. This is probably my second least favorite hole in the course. As you're looking down the fairway, it's tight, low ceiling, tunnel shot. Basket plays off to the right. You have to hit that skip angle absolutely perfectly and then get lucky around the corner. So I'm taking a felon here, trying to get that skip, and I just got it a little nose down and did not get any kind of a good throw there. That was absolutely terrible. Adam's trying to throw the backhand turnover, but he just leaks it a little high, gets caught up, and brings it down to the right-hand side. Jordan's taking the forehand route. If he just needed to miss that tree, that put up in a pretty good shot. So I'm actually taking the woods because I feel like that line's fairer than the fairway. Taking a Buzz OS on Annie and just trying to push it down there and see what happens. I actually pushed it a little bit long of the basket, so I was really happy with how that turned out. Adam's got a little approach shot. You can see that he's off to the right of the fairway, so you can see Jordan's pretty much dead center in the fairway, and the line there is just absolutely brutal. But he's got a simple approach from there. Pins that one. Great approach. This is Gary's approach trying to get to the basket. Puts it inside the circle. He should have an easy 10-foot putt from there. Adam to cash in on his par. This is where my second shot put me, about 25, 30 long. But make good on that par putt. That one felt good to get. Gary's approach shot, cleaning up an easy par. And then Jordan just headbanger on that one. Moving on to hole 18. This is a 205-foot shot. We're playing slightly downhill, but relatively flat. Oh, I'm sorry. This one's actually on a mound slightly off to the left. So this is a skip shot or a forehand turnover like I'm trying to throw. But I just got it a little too turned over and got it caught in that ceiling up there. So it's another awkward angle skip shot that you have to throw. This line's a little fairer than some of the ones on the course, but there's about 4 or 5 too many trees on this hole for it to be a really good hole. I like the ceiling. I like the tightness. There's too many trees in the fairways on this course, I believe. Adam just trying to come out, even though he's just barely off the edge. He didn't really have a clean line to approach the basket. Jordan's kind of in the same predicament where all those trees in the fairway, that is actually the fairway. I'm in the edge of the fairway and having to throw a forehand turnover to get that approach. Those 2 little skinny trees there, and just makes it a difficult shot. Adam just missed that little cleanup for par, and Gary absolutely pured this hole. That backhand skip shot just played perfectly for him. Adam to clean up. Makes good on that. I believe that was for a bogey for him. And then this will be Jordan for his par. And then this will be my comebacker for a par save as well. So here are the scores for how we finished up that round. Not the way I'd hoped to shoot, but for the course, I'm not too unhappy. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks.